All right, so in the second part of structuring a wholesale deal, we're going to get more into the numbers. And I just want you to get from this is what exactly it's you're looking for, okay? Now, you've talked to the homeowner, you've asked the proper questions. We're going to do a separate video on that, on what type of conversation you need to have with the seller to get the information. But having all the information by actually talking to them, doing the title search, going to the home, looking at the condition of the property, taking the proper pictures, all those things help you in determining how much you can potentially get, how it's going to help the buyer, and even if it's a deal or not. Because sometimes the person can be very genuine, they can be very motivated, and they want to work with you, but the numbers just aren't going to make sense at this time to actually get a deal done. And that happens a lot of times. And if you don't know how to structure the deal properly, it's going to waste you a lot of time because you're trying to put a deal out to people and there isn't a deal, okay? Because it's just not enough value for someone to do an investment in a wholesale situation, okay? And this is what you're trying to do. So to avoid all that, we have to understand these components, and there's just no way around it. You have to understand return on investment, okay? So most investors, they're looking at a minimum of 15%, which is the standard, okay? They want a 15% on their investment. So this is usually double mutual funds, annuities, anything the stock market is offering. That's why real estate is so valuable, okay? You can get something you just can't get other places in most times, okay? Not unless you got like Google or Amazon stock or something like that. You're not going to get a 15% ROI, all right? So to get that 15% ROI, you have to understand all-in costs, okay? So this is someone who's an investor who's doing more of a long-term investment. They're looking at the end of the day, if they took all the all-in costs of actually purchasing the house, the closing costs, the repairs that they have to make, and they're dividing that by the annual revenue. So that's the rent they're going to get on a monthly basis within a year. So let's just say it's $875. They're going to multiply that by 12, and they're going to divide that by all the all-in costs. All right. And if that gets you at 15%, well, you know that's a good deal. Okay. So you know it's going to only go up from there because now your repairs are going to lessen. So for them, they're looking at this house long term. It's something they want to buy and sit on for the next 5 to 10 years to get residual income. They can get 15%. And basically, it's the maintenance of maybe having repairs or carrying costs, insurance, having a property manager. I mean, it's a number of things. If it's at 15%, then this is considered a good deal for someone new and buy a home. Now, for someone that's looking for equity, this is what's called a fix and flip, okay? A fix and flip investor, they're looking for something that's quick turnover. Within the next 4 to 5 months, they're looking to buy this property, fix it up, bring up the value. So they're looking to buy low, repair, bring up the value, throw it on the MLS, sell it to a potential homeowner. So now that's where they get their profit. Most investors, they're going to be looking at least a $20,000 to $30,000 profit just to make it worth your while. You're not going to invest $150,000, $200,000 just to make a $2,000 profit. All right. You want to make a sizable, you want it to benefit, or you're just wasting your time. So they're looking at $20,000, $30,000 minimum for them to consider like this is worth my time and energy. Okay. You ask anybody that does fix and flips, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort into making this happen. So they're going to, rightfully so, they're going to want to make at least 20 or 30,000 minimum. So to do that, you have to look at what's something called a purchase ratio. Okay. And what the purchase ratio is, you're taking the all-in costs of this property, and basically you're saying you're taking the ARV, right? The ARV, you may have heard this before, it's just the after repair value. So basically after all is said and done, after they bought the house, did all the repairs, all their expenses, paying my wholesale fee, insurance, paying them, paying for a realtor. I mean, inspections, everything, all in costs. Whether it's paying back the hard money lender, the person they got the money from, whatever the case may be. When it's all said and done, is that under 65% of the after repair value? How do you get the after repair value? Something is called comparables or comps, which we say in the real estate world. Comps is very important, and this is where a lot of people get mixed up as to where they get their comps. I personally recommend getting a realtor or just becoming a realtor, which is a lot easier. You'll have access to the MLS, huge database. You're able to look at similar homes. So let's just say this particular home, the after repair value is $100,000, just to make it a nice even number. Okay, that's the ARV. That means in the last 3 to 6 months, let's say it's a 3-bedroom, it's 1.5 bath, it's a 1-car garage, it's 1,400 square feet, it's a brick. So those type of houses within that square mile or half a square mile, fully repaired, ready to go, walk in for a homeowner. Those houses have been going for $100,000. Okay, so 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1-car garage, 1,400 square feet. All right, so let's say it's been 5 houses, right? Let me go up here that have sold. Maybe one was for 95, one went for 107, one went for 99, one went for 102. All right, one went for 104. Okay, so basically the ARV is somewhere around 100,000. Some were slightly under 100,000, some were slightly over 100,000. So just depending on the house, where it is, they know, the investor knows it's going to be around 100,000. Okay, so now you have to determine, based on what we talked about earlier, based on the repairs, how much it's going to cost to rehab it, if there's a lien on the house, if there's still a mortgage, if there's IRS problems, if there's tax problems, if there's a water bill here in Wayne County, if it's an outstanding water bill, it has to be paid. I mean, I've seen houses with $20,000, $30,000 water bills, and it may not be any repairs to the house, but that has to be factored in because title cannot change from the seller to buyer unless that water bill is paid. All right, unless those liens, that tax lien is paid. Unless that mortgage is paid off, nothing can happen. So you have to be able to add all these things up, add up repairs, add up liens, or anything else that's going to stop this deal from happening. You have to be able to factor that in, look at this ARV, and if it's under 65%, which is in this case, just to make it an easy number, it's going to be 65,000. So that investor who's looking to fix and flip saying, if I buy this house, fix it up, pay everything off, property management, contractors, everything. If my costs do not go over 65%, this is a good deal for me because now my only cost stop is 65,000. Once I get it ready to go, I can sell it for 100,000, which leaves me with a $45,000 profit, and that's well over what they expected to get. So even if they're looking for a minimum 30,000, any unforeseen occurrences, if the potential profit is at 45,000 and their mark is 30,000, they still have a $15,000 to play with. Okay, that makes an investor very, very comfortable. And if you can present them something like this, a scenario like this, they're very happy and they're going to want to do business with you. So if you're not familiar with this, hey, have no fear. There's a company called Bigger Pockets, and I want everybody to jump on there right now. Just Google Bigger Pockets and go to Wholesale Calculator. And you can run all these numbers, whether it's a buy and hold, buy and flip, put it all on a PDF, along with your pictures. Send it, text it, email it to a potential buyer. They're going to be very impressed for what you presented with them, because now they have real, actual, raw numbers that they can look at and they can evaluate if this is something they want to do. And if they see these numbers and it makes sense, and they go to the house and it matches up with the numbers that you're saying or estimated, maybe if you're just off a few thousand, that's fine. They're good with that. Bam, they're going to pull the trigger on this deal. And guess what? You got your assignment fee. And then here's what get your assignment fee is. Now that's something you're going to have to negotiate with the buyer. Okay. So basically your assignment fee, what the seller wants to walk away with, it all has to fit into the $65,000. Okay. So if the all-in cost besides your assignment fee and what the seller's walking away with is 50 grand, that means it's $15,000 for the two of you. All right. So, don't be greedy. Just take 5 grand. All right. And give them 10 grand. And that's not bad. So now you've helped somebody. You help somebody that's in a desperate situation. They were going to lose their house and get nothing. Now you've given them 10 grand, which is a good number. All right. For somebody that was going to lose everything. You got a $5,000 assignment fee, and probably doing all this probably only took you 5-6 hours. Okay, even if you JV with somebody, you still walk away with $2,500. You got your first deal under your belt. You can take that $2,500, reinvest, maybe pay a couple bills. You're right back in the game going toward the next deal. So if you have any questions about this, don't forget to go to Bigger Pockets. You can reach out to me on Mr. 313 Real Estate on Instagram. Happy to answer any question that you have about you have a deal going on, or if you need more understanding about return on investments, ARV, all-in costs. Just watch the video a couple times. It's just, if you're not good at math, you can use the wholesale calculator on Bigger Pockets. I believe you can use up to 5 deals without paying. All right. So if you're able to get the deal done, once you start doing it, you'll learn the math, and you won't even need a wholesale calculator. All right. So I hope this was beneficial for you. Like, share, leave comments, give me your feedback on what you think on evaluating.